Wonderful. Thank you all for joining me. Let's all stand up. I want you all just to take a moment to adjust your posture and stand up really nice and tall. We'll take a few deep breaths together. So my feet are planted into the ground. I'm thinking about each foot as a tripod. So the big toe side of my foot, the pinky toe side of the foot, and then the heel making this tripod. And I have two tripods that I'm standing on. The weight is distributed evenly amongst the points of the tripods. And then I'm stacking up from there. So my knees, they're in a comfortable position. They aren't locked out, super static and straight. They aren't caving in, or they're not doing anything weird or special today. The hips are comfortable too. So if you tip them forward a little bit, tip them back a little bit, find out where that center base is that you feel most stable. And then, like your pelvis is a bowl, extending up out of the bowl. So imagining the spaces between all of your vertebrae getting a little bit larger as you stand up a little bit taller, straightening out the spine a little bit more, just so you're upright. And we aren't collapsing into our bodies. A lot of times, whether you sit or stand at your desk, a lot of times we have a tendency to collapse in with our upper body or really arch through the lower back to compensate for being in one position so long. Our bodies are really smart and they want to make it more energetically effective. Take those easy roads wherever possible to conserve energy. So checking with your body, standing up really nice and tall, taking a really deep breath here. Go ahead and take one more. This time bringing your arms all the way out to the sides, expanding your chest so you have even more room. So inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. So now we're going to move a little bit. We're just going to take this time for ourselves. So if anything is going on that you go, oh, that doesn't feel nice to my body, do your own thing instead. This time is about you. So I'm going to start off by doing a little bit of movement through my upper body. We're going to do a windmill activity here. So those of you who have joined me before know this one pretty well. Arms straight out to the sides, and then I'm going to rotate them around. So left arm coming forward, and my left arm's going forward as much as it can. The right arm is going back as far as it can. And then I'm going to windmill my arms around so that my left arm is going down as far as it can and right arm up. And continuing around the circle, really feeling like I'm going as far into that range of motion as I possibly can. And continuing around. So thinking about the four quarters of the motion, thinking about extending into that full range of motion, and continuing around. Go ahead and reverse just for fun. You can go more swiftly than I'm going as well. Whatever feels good to you. Sometimes it also feels nice to just go very quickly with this, but I always like to make sure that I'm getting full range of motion because I'm so static while I'm just tick-tacking away at my emails. Go ahead and finish up with that motion, finishing up wherever you're at. And then we're going to extend arms to the side again. We're going to step our feet a little bit wider apart. And we're going to shift our shoulders position over our hips. So my hips are going to stay exactly where they are. And I'm going to reach to the right, just moving my shoulders to the right over my hips. You'll feel a little stretch happening through the outside of the left part of your body here. And as I do this, you can come back and forth as you'd like, but I'm just going to hang out here for demonstration. As I'm doing this, I'm reaching, but I'm staying between two imaginary panes of glass. So I'm not tipping forward or back or torquing at all. I'm just reaching to the right. And now we'll go over and reach the left. Reaching, 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 coming in and out if that feels good. You can also play with the angle of your pelvis here. Move a little bit further if you're able to. And some people are going to feel more comfortable starting here and going over and just pulsing over. And some people will feel like they get a better stretch if they hang out here and just enjoy the static stretch. So it's totally up to you and your body and its needs. Beautiful. Let's go back and do one to the right. Just one more. And then one more to the left. Just seeing if we can get a little more range of motion. And then bring your arms up, down. They might like a little rest, so do a few shoulder rolls here. Again, thinking of maximum range of motion. So bringing my shoulders as forward as much as I can, up as high as I can, and then back as far as they go, and then all the way down. Wonderful. So next I'm going to interlace my fingers, bringing my hands all the way up overhead and enjoying this feeling of expansion. A lot of times we don't hang out at our desk with our hands over our heads, so hopefully it feels nice to you. If this isn't accessible, you could certainly have hands here or wherever it works for you. But now what we're going to do is we're going to tip over to the right-hand side. So my shoulders are still staying on top of my hips. They're not extending this way, but I am getting a nice side bend through my body, thinking about expanding all the hips, all the ribs on the left side of my body as I tip over to the right here. I'm of course engaging my core, protecting my back, continuing to have length in between each and every one of my vertebrae. Again, if it feels more comfortable for you, you can come in and out, or you can just hang out here if that feels best for you. And again, we're between two imaginary panes of glass, and this position can be even more tempting to drop that top shoulder. Come back up to the center. Take a little breath for yourself. If your shoulders are tired, you can take a little shake out, and we'll do the other side. Tipping over to the left now, and then expanding the ribs as I breathe in, taking that as an opportunity to expand and get even more air into my chest. Choosing your own adventure if you would like to come in and out or just hang out here. Beautiful. Come on up. Now we're going to actually reach down your back with the left hand and then grab onto the left elbow with your right hand, giving yourself a little tricep stretch. And that can even go into your lats and sort of down your side. Trying not to arch too much through your back as we do this. And trying to keep shoulders away from the ears. So dropping your shoulders down just a little bit further. Fantastic. Let's switch sides. And now I'm going to reach down my back with my right hand, grab onto my right elbow with my left hand. And just enjoy the stretch. Check in with your spinal position. Make sure you aren't going lopsided. And check in to make sure you aren't having too much of an arch through your back. All right, and reaching up and out before coming down. Take a few shoulder rolls again, just because we were at the end of our range of motion. And now we'll either come down onto the ground and we'll be in a quadruped, hands and knees kind of a position, or you can have your hands on a desk or a solid chair, stool, anything like that. And we're going to just plant our hands, check in with our back, aim to have a nice flat back here. And then I'm just going to do a little cat-cow kind of motion. So arching through my back, particularly the middle and upper back. I'm arching in as much as I can as I inhale. And then as I exhale, I'm going to rounding particularly through my lower spine and through the back of my neck here, tucking my chin in towards my chest. Going back and forth at your own pace with your own breath. Or if you really want to explore the depth of that position, let's say arching was feeling really good to you through your upper back, you could hang out here for a couple of breaths and seeing if you could settle into this position a little bit longer. So really choosing your own adventure, being respectful and kind, and just gifting your body a little bit of movement. Beautiful. So now I'm actually going to take my hands. We'll leave them on my stool here, but just I'm going to come over here for example purposes. I'm going to take my hands, and they were like this, but now I'm going to place my right hand on my stool here in the center, or if you're on hands and knees on the floor in the center. And then I'm going to do a little bit of thoracic spine mobility, reaching my left elbow up towards the ceiling as much as it can be. Enjoying that twist, coming back and forth a few times. And then if it feels good, you can hang out with your elbow going up towards the ceiling, checking in to make sure your hips are staying as square as possible to the floor underneath you, whether you're standing or kneeling. And we'll switch sides. Now putting the left hand in the center underneath your chest, however it would be if you were on hands and knees or in that quadruped position. And right hand's going to go behind the head here, and we'll come into the position and out, reaching my elbow up towards the ceiling and then down. Back and forth a few times. And then whenever you're ready, if you're ready, you can just reach the right elbow up towards the ceiling and hang out there for a moment. Focusing on your breath. Aiming to have a nice, even, slow cadence of breathing. Taking a moment to say thank you to your breath for keeping you alive. And come on out of it. We'll go ahead and stand back up now. And I'm going to reach towards the floor on either side. Both arms are reaching down and away. And then I'm going to drop my left ear to the left shoulder. Feeling a little stretch through the right side of my neck. Coming all the way down here. And then switch sides. So I'm continuing to reach away. And right ear is going towards right shoulder. We'll go back to the left, ear towards shoulder. This time we're going to take a little neck roll, allowing your head to slowly and sort of like a bowling ball roll forward, tucking your chin here to come towards the center. And then roll over towards the right. Take a breath. And roll from the right side over to the left. Tucking your chin, slowly rolling down towards the center. Before your head slowly sort of starts climbing up the other side towards the left. Bring your head back up to center. Shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. Drop them as far away from your ears as you possibly can, having the maximum space between ears and shoulders, the longest neck imaginable. Take one last deep breath in and out. You guys are all set to proceed with your day. I hope you have a fantastic afternoon.